Welcome to our first English stream. We decided to do this in English and not in German, so let's see how this works out. And yeah, we are back with the backend topic. Last week we had to switch the schedule, so now today Andreas is back.
Hi.
And with that said, we jump directly into the topic, I would say.
Okay, then let's get started. So first thing we want to do is, maybe a recap of what we did last time first. So we started creating a reactive resource, so with Quarkus, just a REST resource for searching movies. We were able to enter a query here. By default, we search for German for now. And when we go in here, we see this is how we define the API that we want to access. We access the movie DB, and we were able to search movies with this.
We have a short interruption. So Jonas already tested our new feature. So as you could see, we are affiliate now, and thank you, Jonas, for the subscription. And yeah, let's see how many times we get interrupted today.
Yeah. So one change I noticed earlier while I was testing the stuff I want to do today, we should switch the version of the API to 3, because on 4, getting movies by ID seems weird or broken. At least with 3, it works like expected. This just is a small preparation. So maybe I can show you when we start up this. What we get when we search for something. Go. Jonas, now would be the time to subscribe again.
Now we have time, yeah.
Okay, we see Quarkus is started up. I prepared some calls in Postman here already. So we query on localhost 8080, that's the default port of Quarkus. We query for Marvel movies, and here we get the Marvel movies. And today we want to work on this a bit and add more properties and so on.
Okay.
So first thing I want to do is, at the moment, we inject the REST client in the resource. This is not really nice, because calling this API and also providing API key to the API, you don't want to distribute this all over in your code. You want to encapsulate it and put it somewhere.
So next subscription.
Hey.
Ufa, thank you.
Thanks for the subscribe. So we're gonna create a service. So let's call it the movies DB service. And we're gonna make this an application scope bean. What does this mean? Of this service, we're gonna have only one instance in the whole application. And wherever we inject this, we will get that same instance. And here again, we inject now the REST client and the config property for the API key. And we're gonna define our search movies. The query string, and the return type was movies. And here now we're gonna call the movie DB. Actually, I'm just gonna copy test. So, yeah. And now we can already use it in the resource and get rid of this, and just inject our, and also make this a private, movies DB service. And here we call serve movies, the query, and return this thing. Also just notice these are also not private yet. So Yeah. So what we did now on the movies DB service, we can just call search movies and stuff like you need an API key and what so else. We don't care about.
Okay.
We don't want to see it from the outside, and it's all encapsulated here. This is your point to use the movies DB API. Yeah. So just a test. If we trigger this. So this took a bit longer because Quarkus was recompiling again and automatically restarting. And as you see, even adding a bean and a new class and so on just worked, and we get the same result. And we also see that it's freshly started. Is the size of the font big enough? Maybe because last time I think we had to increase it.
Yeah, maybe we can increase it a little bit, but the chat has to tell us if it's okay or not.
Yeah, so let's wait for the chat response. Yes. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always have to watch it in full screen because you should concentrate on the content and not watch something else.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but a little bit bigger would be
Yeah.
the font size. Yeah, maybe you can say, okay, you have to put bits into the chat to increase the font size or something like that.
For every bit we go one higher.
Yeah, just joking. So
that's a big bit. Big. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, half so wild. Also cheering.
Thanks. So, one thing I want to point out at the moment, so here we are returning this DTO, but actually this is something that's a data type from our API. And here we are returning stuff from an internal service. So you don't usually want to use your external data classes internally, and you want to map between them. So instead, I'm gonna just return the list here. At the moment, I'm not gonna do the whole split and complete mapping stuff, just for.
So now we are mapping to internal objects for the backend.
Yes. So here maybe we have a movies DB. Let's call it search result. Yeah, search results DTO. Yes, and in here we don't have the movie DTO. We have the movies DB search result item. And what's this mean? So now we have the results here, but we also don't want, so now this DTO that we have here, this is the DTO that's defining how the external API looks like, the movies DB API. So we also don't want to provide this to our internal services. We also want to encapsulate this. So I'm gonna also create a small package there for the DTOs of the movies API. That's the external. This one should also be there. This is search. Then we have here our very own movie search. Research DTO. Just guessing some names here. And for now, I'm gonna put in the same fields with one difference. We are not going to have this JSON property stuff here because we don't map this to JSON. That's just for internal use. Yes, and then in the service here, we want to return this internal model And for this, we now have to map this list of external models to internal models. So I'm gonna define two DTOs. I prefer to do this like this extension functions. This is a very nice feature of Kotlin. You can define extension functions. So we can now say that's the wrong type.
So we extend the class or the object here.
Yeah, we can now say even with the generic type on lists of this type.
Okay.
There's a new method, two DTOs. And you can even define for different types of lists or different inner types of the list. You can define different functions. And the Kotlin compiler will know what to use. And so you can always define like the two DTOs. Or this is actually not two DTOs. In this case, it's more like two model. And in here, because we now have the whole list to map, we can just say, okay, map and it, if you don't know in Kotlin, if you have a lambda, like we have here now, and you have one parameter, so like the movie here, you could write it like that and do something with the movie. But you always, or very often, you have just one parameter, and there's the shortcut to just go with it.
Yeah, okay, that's the same we had last time.
Yeah.
In Swift, it's $0.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically the equivalent to it.
Yeah. So I now define a second extension function here. And for this, we do the actual mapping.
So the it you can only use with one parameter, or is there also a way with two parameters, for example? In Swift, we can do $0, $1, $2, and so on.
For two parameters, then you have to define them.
Oh, okay.
And why is it search model to model? Yeah, should call the right function. Would help. Okay, now this movies DB service returns an internal model of our application, of our BFF, and not something from the movies DB, and not something that's defined by what our client likes. So for example, if we in the future change what we have internally, but the external API should still stay the same to be compatible with all clients, then we can change the internal model and keep the external model.
Yeah, that's basically the same as we do in the front end. So we have the DTO stuff and then map it to an internal type.
Yeah. So I also gonna create a package endpoint to move this here.
One new follower, Marketing Rocks. Also a cool name.
That's a nice name.
So welcome to the channel.
Like. So for endpoint, I just noticed it's still called a reactive greeting resource. So let's make it a movies resource. Here we now also need to define our external model that we want to use. So movies list DTO, and the internal one looks pretty much like.
And another subscription from Half So Wild. So yeah, I have to get used to it too.
Yeah.
It's completely new to get interrupted from time to time. Yeah.
DTO. So this will be our external model. And one thing we can change in regards to what the movies DB does. The movies DB has this underscore in the name here, And we can now just say, yeah, let's go with a camel case name, because I like that more. If it's also okay for the client.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So we're gonna go with the movies list DTO here. We have all the movies that we get here. As you see, we have the type, a list of the movie search model, and we now also want to yeah, it's videos. With function names and all names, I usually tend to go for the thing that I find. And if I later discover it's not so valid or find a better name, I just rename it.
Yeah.
And always keep renaming especially when the meaning changes, when your code evolves. Better go for renaming and not sticking to bad things.
Yeah, renaming could be tricky in Xcode. So it's not that comfortable like this.
Yeah, and IntelliJ that's really nice. So we're gonna go with the movies listed here. If you noticed, this is a function, but I can define it with like here with the brackets and a real body, or if I just have a one-liner, I can also write it like this.
So do you have to, when I see it in row 36, do you need a return? In Swift, you can leave if it's only one command. You can leave.
In that method body, yes.
Okay.
Then you need to write return. If it's in a lambda, then not.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we want to. So I can call map here.
And another subscription from Cycle. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So now it gets tricky for some usernames, maybe. So let's see.
Research model.
So there's a question in the chat. Would it make sense to move the mapping to an own mapper component?
Yes, definitely. At the moment, it's two methods, so it's no issue keeping them here. But like renaming, when you later discover or it gets too big, then just split it up and move it.
Okay.
I want to start step by step here. Of course, you can just move these to a different mapper component, mapper class. Yes, item DDO. So here we actually map it. The original title. And what's wrong with you? Still the wrong type. Item DDO. Okay, maybe one thing. Here I call the map function, which can maybe write it as a real method to make it easier for those that don't know this syntax.
So basically, it's a shortcut for this.
Yeah, so this function here is actually defined on iterable, and list inherits from iterable. And because I make this as an extension function, in here I have the this pointer. This is actually of type list movie search model. So that's why I can directly use the map function here. Yeah, that's just why this works. And one nice thing of the extension functions, you can feel like you're in that class actually, and you can use stuff like it. And also here, I use ID, and this ID it's actually from the movie search model here. So I don't have to write this in Kotlin, but it's actually just like this. So this and no, back. Yes. So IntelliJ has a ton of nice features for
Yeah.
doing coding for you. Okay,
Yeah, some years ago I used what was it called? AppCode.
AppCode, yeah.
And refactoring was so much easier than Xcode. And yeah.
Yeah, and for keeping code quality high, I think refactoring is an essential tool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you see a mess, you can just easily change it, and it's not a big task, and you have to search replace the whole code or so.
And you do refactor, and it renames all places. And in Xcode you use refactor, and some gets replaced, some places some occurrences not, and
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
Yeah. So again, we can check if it still works. Okay. Now there's the question, did I mess something up, or did Quarkus actually not survive the restart? Yeah.
Yeah, there's the suggestion in chat so that we could use AppCode for the next iOS Swift session. Yeah, AppCode was very good with Objective-C. With Swift, I haven't had a look at it for the last 2 years or so, so I don't know how good it is today. But yeah, Objective-C was great, and yeah, maybe we can try it out in some future streams when we do the iOS part.
Yeah.
Just to reevaluate if it's better than
Yeah.
Xcode or not.
I mean, some time passed since Swift was released, so
yeah, definitely. But I think Brain, yeah, how are they called? The company behind the IDE.
JetBrains.
Yeah. It looks like they focus more on Kotlin, IDEs,
I can imagine
stuff, and so on.
I mean, they also have like PHP, which you don't really want to use, but if you have to use it, it's at least good to have a good IDE. Also the WebStorm for JavaScript stuff and so on.
Yeah, but I think the focus is not on iOS development at the moment. So
yeah, especially since they want to promote to use Kotlin multi-platform maybe.
So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, so I restarted Quarkus, adding all these DTOs and so on. He didn't survive, and now it works again. And now we also see here we have original title in the camel case. Yeah. So yeah, that's part of the cleaning up.
So the next step would be to add more
fields that
information,
you need.
more fields. So do you know the?
No, I have no idea.
So I prepared something. So okay, on the front end at the moment we have ID, title, overview, original title. So maybe we can.
Yeah, that's I have opened yeah. Can you also share yours at the same time?
No.
Okay.
But you can open GitHub. It's github.com/accounts/movietime-app. And then we can have a look at the front-end model. So it's targets, movie API, sources, model, movie DTO. Okay. That's the movie itself, and we have this page wrapper around it for the search. So that's the movie itself.
Yeah. So let's start with that. Just gonna paste this here. So this is all val. ID we have, this we have, original title we have, and add some here. Genre DTO. Oh, yes. So we'll have a list of these here. And wait a second. Oh, I was editing this. Okay. You need all those for your list. I mean, we could differentiate between when you call something for a list, for example, for the search, you might not need all the detailed information, and you only need like overview information for your list view.
Yeah, at the moment we only use some of them, so we definitely use the poster path.
Okay.
The overview not in the list. The runtime is not in the list. The title we need, the release date. I think the image, the title, and maybe Jonas can help me in the chat. What we actually use.
So maybe we go something like that.
Yeah, in the poster path, I think the movie API, the database we use only gives us relative paths.
Okay.
And for the front end, it would be nice if we can get absolute paths.
Something like this. It is at the moment.
Yeah, that's what you get, and we at the moment we add the base URL and stuff in the front end.
Okay.
So that we could do in the backend.
Yeah, of course. So let's.
Jonas wrote in the chat he doesn't remember which one we use. Just paste all.
No, I mean the idea would be for the search result.
Yeah, only
to limit what we send you, so that you only get what you need. We limit the amount of traffic we have and so on. And then when the user clicks on the detail view, you can get all the details. Yeah,
but I think we can stick to this one, and we definitely have to update the front end anyway. So
yeah, when you find something more, then we just add it.
Then we just add it.
So we don't need you at the moment. Yeah, that should be easy.
Jonas says a description is used.
Description?
Yeah, he think we use a description, but I can check in parallel.
It's not even in the search result. Overview. That's the overview. Okay. So that's also something we can do.
Or we can rename it when he says description. Maybe we.
Yes. Maybe we should name
it
the description.
In the iOS code how we named it. So maybe. Let me check in parallel.
Release date. We can also have a look what this actually is. That's actually date. A day.
Okay. At the moment, we don't differentiate between the list movie or the list element and the detail. So that's why we take everything.
Yeah. Now we get all of this. Of course, we now in our service also have to map it to the model. I would. Okay. You also need it. Then model. Maybe we want to call this description. Typing is hard. Release date, poster path.
And the chat has fun with cheering.
That's good. Yes. So maybe we can have a look if they say something, if this is optional or not. Overview, of course, everything is optional. But here, or null. So maybe that's the important part. And not this, which is not so nice. But they explicitly state the null here. And on overview, they don't. Also on here.
So basically the image paths. Everything which is potentially an image.
So the poster path, and we would have these non-null. Release date, also was non-null. So let's go with it. I mean, if we find the one that's always something you have to decide when you use a real API. Are you hyper cautious because you never know what they mess up? And but let's go for the hopefully good way. So we expect a comment we don't have. It was something from our trials. Okay, let's put this like this. Okay, in the model, we now have this as well. Then we can pass it here.
And Jonas says in the chat, call it overview. He remembered the name wrong.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
overview.
But, yeah.
I find description is more speaking.
Description. Yeah, we can try it.
What would you suggest?
I don't know. I'm so bad in naming stuff.
I like description more than overview, because overview feels. If you tell me overview, I don't think of a description of the movie.
Yeah.
But maybe the chat has a better option.
Moritz says plot.
Plot?
Plot. I don't know.
Nah.
We can check what the correct English translation would be. So let's stick to this and then.
Yes. So we have the resource. We also need a mapping here.
The source code we can
Release.
push to GitHub later on or next week or someone.
Yes, we can do that. Yeah. I will try to remember. So post above. That's not fine. Let's try. I'm pretty sure I forgot some. Okay, our old stuff. So I'm gonna remove this. This from our testing last time, where we just had hard-coded data. It's still there. So later we want to implement the get movie by ID call, so I'm gonna leave that here. Okay. And we have some processing exception. We cannot create this. Non-null is null. And who is it? Release date is null. Of course. Yeah. So as I told you, with an external API, it's usually better to be hyper cautious, because yeah, documentation is nice, but it's also outdated or wrong. But I don't want to make everything null here. So now this one will complain, and also you will complain. That's a nice thing about Kotlin in comparison to Java. You have actually the null safety.
Jonas says in the chat, maybe this movie isn't released yet, so
yeah,
it has no release date.
But Captain Marvel was released.
Yeah.
I know what we messed up. Blaming the API, but actually it's the underscore. Yeah. Always blame others.
Yeah, definitely.
Share the blame, take the fame. Always best. So maybe we can try again. I will first try if the call crashes. Come on, start up. Yeah. Release date, release date, release date. Okay. The poster path, we have the same issue. Yeah. Poster path. Original time. Yeah. So, That's also.
Yeah, is it possible to provide a fallback value in case we
Yeah.
expect that this field isn't null and it is?
Yes. So what you can do is just say empty, or you could provide some fallback link or. But here I don't think it makes so much sense at the moment to provide a fallback at this stage because yeah, from the API it's just empty, and later in the service we can think of something. Maybe we have some URL where we have a not found image or something like that.
Oh, Half So Wild is gifting Moritz a subscription.
Thanks, Half So Wild. It's really nice of you. Okay, where were we?
But in general, it is possible.
It is possible, yeah. You can just, like you would normally with Kotlin, just something here, or null is the default now that I made it optional. That's no issue. Did I change everything? Let's try if it crashes. Actually works. And we have the path. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know the base path?
Yeah, now it gets a little bit tricky because we have different base paths.
What?
So yeah, because for thumbnails and original images and stuff like that. So we have a base URL. It's https colon slash or you just look in the documentation.
Yes.
Then you can copy and paste it. So we have image.tmdb.org/t for thumbnail or p for original.
Can you show me where it is in the documentation or tell me?
Yeah, good question. So, is there something like images or something?
Change collections, companies, configurations, discover, movies, get image, movie ID images. Yeah, but it's...
No, that's a different one. Or
is it in your code? I mean, I still have the code here open.
Yeah, go to targets.
Yes.
And movie time model, sources model. And then movie, and then scroll to the bottom.
Poster, thumbnail. Okay.
Yeah, that's the complete path with the base URL added, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just an example.
A mock is this. Okay. Yeah. So that would be the thumbnail and the. What's the difference? Is there any? No.
I think for the mock we used only the full size image.
Okay. Let's get
so
started.
we can start with this one and then iterate.
So again, we can inject this here. One. The API key, it's the thumbnail base path. And then here, so at the moment, these extension functions, they are defined outside of the movies DB service. So of course I cannot access stuff from here. Now it could make sense to extract a mapper. Let's do that. A mapper that is dedicated to mapping. So movies mapper. We're gonna move these there. Yeah, I know the mapping will not be so nice for me. You can inject the property here. Okay. And basically what we want to do is we want to add this. Let's make it a, nope. Full. Absolute. And here we're gonna, so the poster path can be null. So of course we don't want to prefix it with the thumbnail base path if it's not. So there is not apply, blah. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, Jonas is just writing. In the app we use the W200 images. It's the size of an image with 200 pixels or something like that. So yeah, but let's stick to this one and we have a look which one we exactly need, and then we can do it next time.
It's not applied. It's also not. I can't remember. Chat, help me.
Something like prepend or something?
No, there's something to apply a lambda to that value to map it. But it's not map, which no, that's on the list, which we don't have here. I always think of map and I never get to the real name. So
let run apply question mark is in chat.
Let sounds good because it receives a value of type T and can return a different type. So that's the one. Thank you. Plus the it.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird because let is a constant in Swift.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Actually, let's transform this to a template because we want to add this here. Turn this, yeah. Okay. Now it's gonna get complicated with this. With new Kotlin, you can do stuff like that, but for the moment, because this method is on the it is on this object, so it cannot have another this.
Oh, okay.
Only if you're inside that object already, then it works, but now it wouldn't.
So you have to provide
a normal parameter.
There's another question from Jonas. What is the dollar magic?
Okay. 1 second, I will get back to it. I will just finish my form with the mapper. RP mapper. Yeah. So it's you. So we again just inject the object here. What we need to do is we want to say this is application scoped. So we have this one time in the application. So what this magic here is, it's just a template string. So you can use variables here. This, sorry, forgot the dollar. You can do something like this. You can also directly, if you only use the name of a variable, you don't need the curly braces around it. Only if you call something. You could also call a method here if you in the curlies, like ID to byte something. So in here you can just write code, and yeah, it's just a nice way to, instead of having plus concatenating strings and so on, you can just write down the string with the variables in it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we forgot. Hey, and we have two slashes. I think he didn't recognize that I changed the property here, because it didn't build even. This one, and here we didn't change it back. So here now, two slashes. Have they a slash?
Maybe.
In their response.
But do you add one? Yeah.
We add one.
Yeah, they have.
They have
slash.
one.
When I remember correctly, yes.
Example here it was. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Good. Then we don't need one. So let's check if we can open that. Hey,
okay.
Awesome. So
yeah, so basically we can get different sizes. Maybe we can try to next time or later on we can maybe provide a parameter in the call which size we want or something like. Yeah, for the poster it doesn't make really sense because there you want the original size probably.
Yeah, but probably here you would also, for the list overview, you would also want like a thumbnail.
Yeah, so maybe when we could provide a parameter or something.
That's one thing we could do.
To say we want a thumbnail or we want the original image.
Another thing we could do, we could just provide multiple, so that you have the option.
Okay.
But I haven't figured out how the space path changes. So this is the original.
I don't know either. So we need to check that for next time. But then we could think about something like that.
Yeah.
That we can exchange the size of the image.
Yeah. Then I can provide you multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have title, original title, description, release date, pulsar bar.
Andreas is slowly rushing out of the build.
Let me get my back straight again. Thanks for the reminder, for the health reminder. Okay. Anything else you want for the client in the search results?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then
it's some weak. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Oh. Just want to check if the chat is still there. So, yeah, I think for the search result it's okay.
Okay. Then now that we did shrink the result that you get, for the details you will probably need more.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, we would want to have a get movie by ID call. You can already prepare this. I think that is the Captain Marvel ID already. Yeah. So at the moment there is no such method. So let's implement it. Here. Again, we just want to.
Oh, they want to see your shirt.
Do I really have to stand up?
Maybe we can say it.
I got a nice shirt from Quarkus.
Yeah.
It took a couple of months for them to send it, but all the contributors for the 2.0 version got a shirt, and I'm actually happy to have contributed to the success. So instead of search movie, we want to get movie by ID. Movie ID.
Yeah, that's nice how you create methods.
Yeah.
That would be cool if that would work in Xcode.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's why
Also-
test-driven development is a little bit hard in Xcode.
Yeah. Okay. So it could happen that we don't find it.
Mm-hmm.
So for the movie service, I would just return an optional,
Yeah.
and the API can then decide what it does with that. So here I would say not found exception. By throwing this, we will automatically get a 404.
Oh, okay.
And later on, we could customize this, throw some useful result body that you can work with also. Yeah, get movie by ID, movie ID, and now we need to call the API. Get movie ID as well. Let's do that. No, I always click the first option, and then sometimes it's not the first. So instead of search movies, I think we have to go. No, that's authorization. I had it here. Yeah. Movies, movie ID. It's a bit of a different path. Don't like that. Always the snake case. So again here, what we have to do is we have to provide the API key. And later, when we want to, we can also provide a language as a query parameter. So I will just copy paste them over. And now this is a path parameter. And you could again do path param. So that's the Java Enterprise standard annotation. Here you need to provide the annotation, the name of the path param. So this is this name.
So you have to match.
And the variable could be something else. But often you just have the same thing as the variable name. And then Quarkus has this optimized REST path annotation. You don't need to provide a name here. You could. No one saw the survey.
Yeah, they're playing with the new features. So somebody just opened a Umfrage.
Survey.
And maybe misconfigured it because you can provide how long the poll lasts, and there was only one vote. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's continue. And so now we have the new subscriber.
Where's my espresso? Who is this one? Do we know?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah, thanks to all subscribers.
Yeah,
by the
really
way.
thanks. It's nice to get such a great start directly after getting affiliate. Yeah, so now here we have a different result.
Yeah, so movie DB detail DTO or so. Not such that. Movies DB movie detail or something like that.
Yeah, I think detail DTO is fine. Let's start with that.
Yeah, when we need additional ones, we can refactor.
Exactly. Move it to that package. So we have a data class again. Now we will probably also have this stuff here. Let me try something. I tried it last time and failed. It's naming and then case strategy. Okay. Still not hotjar. Yes. Ha! So what this does,
And now you don't need the JSON properties stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't want to always have this.
Yeah.
And they always use the snake case.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're also gonna do this here.
Still no Kansas emote. Yeah, it's in. Yeah, Twitch is checking it. The emote we uploaded one earlier today, but yeah.
If it's allowed.
Yeah, they need to approve it.
Okay. So now we only have the same stuff here. Of course, we don't want the same stuff. We want more. What would you like from all of this?
Don't ask me such things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Here's the list. Let's add. That sounds reasonable, informative.
So when I remember correctly, the runtime we showed the runtime in the details.
It's the
Yeah,
time
how long
it-
the movie
okay.
lasts. Yeah.
Thought like,
Yeah.
what runtime does it use?
And the other stuff I don't remember. It was last year since I had a look at the models. So yeah.
Maybe we can
Maybe
go
we should.
here.
I should prepare more for the backend streams.
So we have the poster URL, poster thumbnail.
Yeah, the backdrop image we use, it's for the title in the detail page. Revenue, I think we don't use it at the moment. The tagline we use.
We have one chunk, backdrop, path. Thought so. I'm no longer in the API. Yeah, okay. So what did you say? Backdrop path?
The tagline.
Tagline.
Yeah.
Backdrop path. Also another.
So this is the object we get from the movie API, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, vote maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's put the paths together. And vote count. Yeah, maybe let's start with that. Basically, we're gonna go our way back to the model. Movies, detail.
Jonas also says genre we use. That was the
Which one?
other genre.
Sure.
It
it's
could
multiple.
be, yeah, it's a list basically.
Yeah,
That was the one you removed.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
I remember.
Yeah, genre is basically only an idea in a name.
So maybe in the string. I'm always switching languages and sometimes it's just too much. Okay, that's all for this. Then we also have this here and it's always there. Also very nice. Okay. Movie detail. Then we also need a what did I do? I wanted to copy paste. So basically we have to go back to through all of that. Move model. So this model mapping at the moment, it might seem a bit excessive and a bit work, but it always helps when your project grows to start with a good structure. Because introducing it later, it's always a bit more work.
Yeah, and maybe you want to use multiple APIs or something and merge the results into one object and stuff like that.
And that's why you want to have an abstraction in here.
In the front end, it's the same. So at the beginning, you say why I need such abstraction there, and later on, when the project grows and other APIs and stuff come in, and then you know why you did this. Yeah, but at the beginning it looks like overhead.
Yeah. Model. Okay. Then in here, we now get back our movie. I can make it bigger again. We of course also want to provide this. It's just extracted for the moment.
Yeah, later on we can provide a locale from the device, for example.
Yeah.
So when the user set his device to English, we can provide a locale and
you can do that. So, wrong key. Also to model. Let's movie and also use that model. So now we have the details and my mapper.
So nobody's complaining that it's too fast or something. So
that's nice, because I was a bit worried actually.
Yeah, or they don't watch anymore.
Are you still there, guys? Or sleeping, or just trying to catch
you
up?
lost us already.
Yeah. Movie detail model. You lost us already? Just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, but we are approaching the end of the stream, so
it's
basically they don't have to
hang in there much longer.
Yeah.
I mean.
And they can go into the weekend.
So
Moritz says, you lost me already at hello.
So so since everything is called the same as in the other class, IntelliJ offers me that, but I think we forgot our genres. Let's make it.
So Jonas can't wait for to use this API, the backend next stream.
Okay.
So we have next week again for the backend, and then in 2 weeks maybe we can test it on the front end side.
Cool. And then we have movie model. Thought so. Name. Yes. To model. Because we have genres. It's of course a list. So we're gonna make the list thing again. So now you see that how nice this is. Kotlin knows which DTO, which to model it should call. Map to model. But Java doesn't. So the thing is, Kotlin is translated to bytecode for the Java engine, and Java cannot handle such things with the same name. So there's the option to just specify a Java name. Why is it like this? Interesting.
JVM name.
No idea why that's there. But let's make it to model. I use that here, and also to search. So now I renamed a bit too much.
Okay.
That's a thing, because IntelliJ is so aggressively searching for other places. The thing is, it wants you. It asks you.
And then you click OK.
Yes. It's always the same with me. So let's see if it worked out. So model genres, and here of course, and we want to get this. Ha! Strike. Worked. And here we want to to
API mapper. There is to search result. No.
So that
It's a API mapper to model. It doesn't exist. It's in the API mapper you wrote a search result.
No, here I actually wrote to model.
Yeah, in
but I made an extension function, and
okay.
that of course doesn't work. Yeah, movie. Movies, TV, video, and genre, and
No, we have to add movie everywhere.
yeah, let me try something. With no, don't know the syntax. Let's do it the hard way.
Yeah, you are getting closer and closer to the camera.
I'm getting more focused on the code.
Yeah. It's focus mode.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. So the line gets a bit too long. Model genres. Yes. Now we have that here. And we should. Okay. It might happen that there is no result coming from here because we get a 404.
Yeah.
We haven't covered that yet. So what we would need to do is we would need to say it's a response. And for the response, The movie response point has something like status.
Okay.
So we could now say if movie response point status is not found, then we could return null. We could also say that if the movie response is status is okay, then we parse this, but we don't have the movie yet. So to get the movie, we can now say movie response entity, read entity, and we can say this is a movie db detail DTO. Yes, like this. And of course the return type is still wrong. Yes. And in that case, we can say, well, yeah, what would we want to throw? Internal server open sounds good. Something went wrong. Movie db response. And now movie response status. Something like that. It's just a quick and dirty solution. Now in all cases we either return something or we throw an exception. So in Kotlin you can lift the return out of the if, and now the last thing in every body is what is returned. And since we make this if else thing, there's the when for this. But we don't want. So that's basic.
Like a switch statement.
Yes, it's like a switch statement. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's basically like a switch statement on steroids, because there's also some pattern matching functions and so on.
Yeah, it looks
really
a
good
little
stuff.
bit weird. So.
Yeah, it has some more features than just this. Yeah. Okay, maybe let's also move this down because we want to see the happy case first. And okay, now we have mapped it, we have returned it, and we need to handle it here as well. We also want to return a movie here. Movie detail. Didn't I create that already? No. And we want movie genre. Movie data model. Yeah, that's just a single one. Then let's name it DTO. This one, and then movie DTO. Now I'm wondering why I have to type this. Come on. Maybe it's because yeah, the last one we don't have. Because also the genre we need to map. Did we actually name this model Jonas? Nah. That's also something IntelliJ probably renamed, of course. So you always have to be careful if IntelliJ asks you, do you want to rename all this stuff? Then it found more than you probably want to rename. Model
Name.
name.
Sure.
Ah, of course.
Mm.
The idea was from the committee. So, and here, overview. No. Not in my model. Description. Not with me. I said nope. Ah, and this one we also have it. Yeah. The curse of copy pasting. Is and again. Okay. And the type must be right. And of course, since this can be null, we should only call it when it's not null.
Mm-hmm.
So that's working now. Okay.
Error ID.
Original title. Let's try to restart because I think I added the naming strategy. Maybe it didn't get that one. Would it be better? No generics for the response. Yeah. There is one with generics from Quarkus, but if I remember correctly, you also have to disable some default mapping, just answering to Lensman's question. Where was it? Here, the response here. Yeah, that's just not so nice. If there's the REST response with a generic, but I think at least in past versions, I didn't try it. Maybe I have to try it off the screen. In past versions, there was the issue that you had to disable something else, some default mapping and so on. So don't want to bother with that at the moment. Let's try. Okay. Original title.
Non-null.
Is it not working with the JSON naming? Let's test if that fixes it or moves to the next. Or yeah.
Okay, seems like it's not working.
Have to check the naming stuff again. I mean, snake case is what we want. I have to check again how to do that. This is my nemesis. Last time already.
Yeah. We can check it and answer it in next time.
Yeah. Cliffhanger part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we need cliffhangers, so.
Nope.
Yeah, and now it's working.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Description, original title, poster path, backdrop path. Okay, these are now, of course, again, not mapped.
Yeah, that's the same as
Yeah, you
the
can
search result.
do some, oops, not that. You can expect a method here, map image path, absolute. No. I mean, yes, but no.
Mm.
Make this optional. And return this. It's also here. And just use it for the backdrop path. Here. You can also design it here. So I didn't provide it here. It was the poster path. Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. By default, it opens it in there.
Yeah, it's okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today.
Yeah. I hope. Are there some more questions maybe for the today's stuff?
Yeah.
Otherwise, maybe next time, now that we have detailed data and the search, yeah, you said you want to have some
Yeah,
lists.
maybe we can start with a new feature we wanted to add in the iOS app. So there we want to add or create lists with movies. And yeah, maybe we can start with this one next time.
Like favorites and
Favorites, movies I watched or I want to watch or something like that.
Okay.
So lists the user can create and delete and edit. Yeah,
Okay.
things like that. Okay.
Yeah. So Moritz, deployment not yet. We will first try to work on a bit more features that the app guys can use it already when they deploy it locally, like I just did. But we will also get to deployment, maybe also in a later episode to get to Kubernetes stuff.
Yeah, it's basically on the list.
So. Yeah, we want to cover everything.
Yeah.
And of course, if you have if you have some topics you want to have covered, just let us know. We will put them on the list and see when we can cover them.
So yeah, so no questions in the chat. So I would say we end the stream here. And yeah,
Was nice.
Wish you all a good weekend. And next week on Tuesday, Tuesday we have the hardware stream, and then next Friday another backend stream.
Yep. Looking forward.
Yeah. So have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.